It's that time of year again, guys and ghouls. The mists are creeping in all around, and we're being drawn back into that demi-plane of dread. Ravenloft, the realm of terror. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It is a rainy and miserably humid Tabletop Tuesday, so perfect weather to stay inside and game. Further, it is October, the creepiest time of the year, and this will be the first of several videos diving into the creepy and spooky, the mysterious and the ooky, the altogether kooky. Oh, wait, that's something else. Anywho, it seemed like a no-brainer to me what game I should grab for this here Tuesday to kick things off with. Here it is. The Ravenloft box set, Realm of Terror. This was my first foray into Ravenloft, and what a foray it was. See, back then I was but a player, a simple dice roller. I had not dove into the awesome and terrifying world of DMing. That was usually the role of my friend Chris, although, my cousin and some others stepped in. But he was usually the one that came up with the stories and encounters and such. And I had bought this set with the understanding that, sure, I owned it, but the whole point of me buying it was that so Chris could DM it. That's how good a setting it is, how primevally entrancing, how it keeps me coming back again and again, drawn in at least once a year back into the demi-plane, because I love me a good ghost story. Now, let's dive into it. Now, y'all might recall a pair of names, Tracy and Laura Hickman. They're a husband and wife writing duo that have been in gaming and specifically D&D since forever. Back in 1978, they penned a pair of modules for D&D Pharaoh and Ravenloft. Ravenloft was born out of a disappointing gaming session Tracy had just attended. In an interview with CBR back in 2020, Hickman stated that it didn't make any sense to him why a creature like a vampire was just sitting around in some dank dungeon with oozes, goblins, and zombies. And I quite agree. So he and Laura sat down to create something much more satisfying from a storytelling point of view. Enter Strahd von Zarovich. The Hickmans felt this vampire archetype had been played out, that everything about the creature was known, quantified, and therefore no longer scary, so they invented a totally original creature. Still a vampire, sure, but something altogether unique, something not in the monster manual. The adventure they designed around this character was called Vampire, and it was ran with their own group every Halloween for 5 years steady. The name Vampire didn't stick, however, everyone referring to it instead by the name of the realm, Ravenloft. Eventually, word reached TSR about this awesome adventure, and Module I-6 Ravenloft was released in 1983. Now, this was just a module. We're not at the box set just yet, but we're getting there. People loved Ravenloft. It won a Strategist Club Award for Outstanding Play Aid the next year in '84, and it was popular enough to get a sequel, The House of Griffith Hill, in 1986, along with a novel that same year. In 1990, the Demi-Plane of Dread got its own official box set, put out under the second edition banner. This is the Realm of Terror box set with that sweet cover by Clyde Caldwell. This set was unlike any other set I'd experienced to date. Firstly, you have the 144-page rulebook seen here. Beautiful, thematic presentation with the aesthetics for which they would preserve throughout Ravenloft campaign setting in the 2E run. Love the filigree, the borders here, the charcoal light art, just wonderful. What was crazy about it, though, was the absolute pile of visual aids that came with it. Sure, other sets had maps and maybe some pictures here and there, but look at this. We've got frickin' family portraits here, all done up and nice, and on the back you've got the actual stats of the NPCs themselves. Fantastic. You have, oh my god, look how thick that stack is. This stack of frickin' buildings, locations and setting, with the descriptions on the back here detailing what you'll find inside Baretzi Estate, Vlad Drakov's castle, Hierogard's castle, just on and on. This is just a stack of wonderful, awesome plaids that you can give out to your players and enhance the experience for them. You've got, some paintings, but on the back of the paintings, you've got spell lists and all sorts of other information. Wonderful to have at hand. especially when the DM screens get a little crowded and such. You also had these four huge color maps. Like these things, I'm not going to fold them out on here because they ain't going to fit. They're huge, but they're awesomely detailed. And they came with this transparent overlay here thing. This was a nifty innovation. Now, the artistic aspects of your map don't have to have a split up feel with the grid overlay printed over top. No, you just put this sucker over top and you can measure exact distances without sacrificing the map's more artistic aspects. That is nifty. And of course, you had that stack of 24 cardstock pictures, the sheets, all kinds of things. These are all tremendously immersive additions to the box set, literally painting you a picture of what it means to be taken by the mist, locked away in this demiplane forever. This is your life now. Enjoy it. Created by Bruce Nesmith and Andrea Hayday, Ravenloft was the fifth major campaign world put out by TSR. As all settings seek to set themselves apart, Ravenloft led the charge with new game mechanics, that of fear and horror. Not surprisingly, this system was born out of Call of Cthulhu's sanity rules. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? They were also, thankfully, new variant rules for monsters. In my humble opinion, this is the pivotal for running a successful fear-oriented game. Too many of us can spout off the stat card of numerous monsters on a dime. That makes it darn near impossible for a DM to surprise someone. Now, you hook in folks like me that love a good scare with the line Chris would tell me all the way back when the set came out. The DM is allowed to lie. While not officially true, the DM is allowed to tailor monsters to their whims, meaning you don't know what this monster is capable of. It might not even look all that similar to a beast you're familiar with. Imagine a twisted werewolf, rotten vines growing out of its desiccated skin, eyes glowing a hellish green. Does it still have the same stats as a werewolf? Will it even be vulnerable to silver? You ask the DM and they can just shrug. Very scary stuff. Every encounter becomes unique, thrilling, and terrifying. This, for me, is the enduring appeal of Ravenloft, that nothing is codified, quantified, and stuck on a shelf. It's all new and thrilling. Curse has also got a bit of this treatment, and we got ourselves a new mechanic with fortune telling, which I always played hard into. Oh, and the cherry on top of the setting, consequences for slipping into the evil alignment beyond simply changing a box on your character sheet. The setting was fantastic as well. While all settings introduced their own worlds, the demiplane of dread was, by its very nature, connected to every D&D world to date or that would ever be. Beautiful design decision right there. We're introduced to familiar places like Barovia and Mordant, but also crossover details to existing D&D realms like Greyhawk, Krynn, Karatur. Now, the Realm of Terror was rooted firmly in the gothic horror aesthetic, and it had a little fight to stay there. White Wolf put out Vampire the Masquerade about a year after the Realm of Terror, and TSR panicked. They approached the Ravenloft crew and asked them to pivot toward a more psychologically sinister outlook. The designers refused, and the setting thrived for these folks sticking to their guns. Ravenloft as a setting has ran for more than 30 years. Oh, wow, I'm getting old. But it has also seen three major additions as well. It has had the staying power. Realm of Terror was reviewed extensively, all praising its gothic treatment and original rule set. Stuart Wake reviewed the set in White Wolf, giving it 4 out of 5 stars. He stated the set misses a perfect score because, get this, it had too many domains. You serious? Whatever. I mean, he does realize you can pick and choose the ones you use, right? But whatever. The set would go on to win an Origins Award for Best Graphic Presentation of a Role-Playing Game Adventure or Supplement of 1990. Wow, that is a mouthful. Yes, you can make That's What She Said jokes in the comments. And yes, I did that in one take. Interestingly, the set would go on to garner a glowing review in 2013. Alex Lucard for Die Hard Gaming Fan would write that Realm of Terror is actually far more accessible than the latter hardcover Domains of Dread, as Domains of Dread requires you to know what happened previously for it to make sense. Well, Realm of Terror is simply provided as is and is therefore far more accessible. It's a fascinating set for a wide variety of reasons. It could have easily been a simple rulebook, just the 144-page rule set, and there you go. Instead, TSR put out this freaking awesome box set, and I have pulled it out every year since I bought it. Absolutely a wonderful addition to any gaming collection that doesn't have it. At the time of this writing, Drive-Thru RPG is offering a PDF copy of the rulebook for a 10 spot, twice that for a printout. But that's just the rule book. If you want the box set with all the beautiful additions, you'll have to hit up eBay, as Amazon doesn't have a single copy that I could find. And the sets on eBay are going to run you $50 or more, as near as I could find. So be prepared to drop some bucks on this one. But as you can see in this here video, it's worth it. It's one of those unique, original, awesome gaming supplements that just broke the mold back in the day. You can feel the terror woven into every page, the desire to scare the living crap out of your games that might have gone a little stale, need a little shake up. And this set shook things up indeed. That's all we got for today, folks. I do appreciate each and every one of you that tuned in, gave me a moment of your time. Now, I'm going to pass the turn so you all can get out there, roll some dice of your own, gather around the table, make those gaming memories. And it's October, y'all. Consider popping in a good scary movie or cartoon, read a spooky comic. Make sure you're drinking some water and get some exercise. And as always, have a good one.